Hey guys, what's up? This is Slifer29 here. So it's that time of year again, and I thought that I would do for you guys an unboxing of the latest product in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, which is the Legendary Hero decks. So this here is the fourth installment of the Legendary Deck series, and it features 3 decks that are used by rival slash anti-hero characters from various Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. So on the front of the box, here we have pictures of the new Link monsters that are featured in each of the decks. So from left to right is the Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardish, Extra Hero Dread Decimator, and Golvague of the Nordic Ascendant. On the top of the box, it shows the Phantom Knights of Breaksword and Odin, Father of the Aesir. On the sides, it just says Legendary Hero decks. Then toward the very front is Thor, Lord of the Aesir, and Extra Hero Wonder Driver. And then on the back of the deck here, it shows you everything that you get inside. So of course you get 3 decks. You get a hero deck which features mostly Destiny Hero monsters, a Nordic deck, and a Phantom Knights deck. And another important thing to note is that originally this was supposed to be released last week on the 5th of October, but unfortunately due to Hurricane Florence affecting the Carolinas, they ended up having to delay the release of the Legendary Hero decks. So they actually start selling in OTS stores today, but they will have a widespread release tomorrow on the 12th. And so just for the sake of trying to streamline everything, I did remove the packaging from the outside of the box on the box as well as from each of the decks so that I can try and get through things quickly. So without further ado, let's go on ahead and open up and take a look at all the awesomeness we got inside. So here are our 3 decks. So from left to right, we got our Hero deck, our Nordic deck, and our Phantom Knights deck. So like before, I'll just go from left to right. So we'll start with the Hero deck first. And one interesting thing though is that each of these decks do have a 10 card extra deck, so that's really cool though. And so so starting off with the Hero deck, we have the Link monster, which is known as Extra Hero Dread Decimator. It is a Link monster with a Link rating of 3, and its Link arrows point down and in the lower left and lower right hand corners, and its Link materials is 2+ hero monsters. And its effect states, this card also any hero monsters that it points to gain 100 attack points for each hero monster with a different name with different names in your graveyard, and if this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. So maybe not the most greatest of effects, I mean, because it does pretty much boost up other heroes and it has a trample effect, but still it could be a very good card though. So if I do decide to build a hero deck, I mean, I may very well feel tempted to use it. And then for the other ultra rares that we get in here, and also each deck does have 5 ultra rares. So here we got a Destiny Hero Malicious, always nice. And here is Destiny Hero Disc Commander, and it has its errated effect. So for those of you that may not be familiar with Disc Commander's errated effect, it states that it cannot be special summoned from the graveyard in the same turn in which it was sent to the graveyard. And if this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you draw 2 cards, and you can only use this effect of Destiny Hero Disc Commander once per duel. So unlike before, where anytime it got special summoned from the grave, you would draw 2, it's going to come with a bit of a heavy price now. I mean, it's got that nerfed effect, so I don't know how often people will use it, but still, we got it back, just not the way we hoped. And then we got Destiny Draw, always a good card. And a new card here, which is another Link monster, Extra Hero Wonder Driver. So it is a Link monster with a Link rating of 2, and its Link arrows point up and down. And its Link materials is 2 hero monsters, and its effect is that if a hero monster is normal summon or special summon to a zone that this card points to, you can target a polymerization spell card, a fusion spell card, or a change quick play spell card in your graveyard and set it on your side of the field, and you can only activate this effect of Extra Hero Wonder Driver once per turn. And if this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or if this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the grave, then you can special summon a hero from your hand. So that's actually a really good effect. And then for the rest of the cards that come in the deck as commons, for monsters, we have Destiny Hero Dogma, Destiny Hero Plasma, Destiny Hero Dreadmaster, another Destiny Hero Malicious, Destiny Hero Celestial, Destiny Hero Diamond Dude, Destiny Hero Dread Servant, Destiny Hero Dark Angel, Destiny Hero Dynatag. And a lot of these cards here was in Destiny Soldiers. Never bothered to get the set, so it's actually cool that a lot of them are here. Destiny Hero Drill Dark, 2 of them. Destiny Hero Decider, Destiny Hero Dreamer, D Cubed, literally a playset. Elemental Hero Shadow Mist, Elemental Hero Blaze Man, Destiny Draw, another. Over Destiny, 2 of them. A copy of Clock Tower Prison, a copy of Dark City, 2 copies of Mask Change, 2 copies of Polymerization, a copy of Monster Reborn, 1 of Magical Stone Excavation, 2 of Terraforming, obviously keeping in line with the ban list, a Feather of the Phoenix, and that'll round out the spell cards. And then for the trap cards, you have Destiny Signal, D-Time, 2 copies of Eternal Dread, and 1 copy of D-Fusion. And then moving into the extra deck, got Destiny End Dragoon, 2 copies of Destiny Hero Dustopia, 2 copies of Destiny Hero Dystopia, 1 copy of Destiny Hero Dangerous, 1 copy of Masked Hero Dark Law, and 1 copy of Masked Hero Anki. And so the hero deck, it looks like it's it's a decent deck and everything. And I know that a lot of people were hurt though that Stratus wasn't included in the deck, seeing as to how it just got off the ban list, and also they would have hoped for Vision Hero Vion to be in here. So I felt like Konami kind of missed the mark with trying to make this deck even better by adding both of those cards in there. Even if they would have done it with just one of them, it could have probably made things a lot better. So I would probably say to an extent this might not be everybody's favorite though, but I could be wrong. Now moving on to the second deck, and in my opinion the one I'm most excited about is the Nordic deck. So leading off, we have the new Link monster for the Nordics, which is known as Golvaig of the Nordic Ascendant. And so it is a Link monster with a Link rating of 1, and it has 800 attack points, and its Link material is a level 5 or lower Nordic monster. So that's essentially any Nordic monster, because the only ones that are above level 5 is Jormungandr, the Nordic Serpent, and Fenrir, the Nordic Wolf. And its effect is that when it's Link summoned, you can banish up to 3 cards from your hand and or your field, and if you do, special summon that many Nordic monsters from your deck in defense position. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon any monsters except for Aesir monsters, nor can you normal summon or set any monsters, and you can only use this effect of Golvaig of the Nordic Ascendant once per turn. While this card points to an Aesir monster, your opponent cannot target that monster with card effects. Also, any monsters that your opponent controls cannot target this card for attacks. So this is actually a really great card, because not only is it easy as all hell to summon, but also because it lets you get what you need to summon an Aesir monster relatively quickly. And for those of you that didn't watch any of the streaming video from the 200th YCS, they did announce that in Soul Fusion, which we'll be releasing next week, there is a new Nordic monster that is known as Alvis of the Nordic Alfar, which helps you mitigate the cost of this card, because Alvis, when it's banished by the effect of a Nordic Link monster, in this case Golvaig, you can send a monster from your hand along with 2 Nordic send a Nordic monster from your side of the field along with 2 Nordic monsters from your deck whose combined levels all equal out to 10, and then summon that Aesir monster, and you would then put it in the zone that Golveg points to. And should that Aesir monster be removed from the field or destroyed, however, then you can banish Alvis in order to summon another Aesir monster with a different name. So that's actually really good, and the card is going to be a common in Soul Fusion. So if you guys are a fan of Nordics and you're looking for some interesting strategies, definitely scoop up Alvis. You won't be disappointed. But anyway, continuing on. So for the rest of our ultra rares, we have Tongrisnir of the Nordic Beast, Dark Hole, Ascension Sky Dragon, which was previously a YCS prize card. So, and I did remember this card because the truth be told, I almost forgot about this card for a minute though. But then when they started announcing this, then it just came to me. So it's cool that we got that. And Coral Dragon, which is always a nice synchro monster. And now let's move on to the rest of the deck. So you get another Tongrisnir of the Nordic Beast. You get 2 copies of Tongjustur of the Nordic Beast, and I know that everybody has a really hard time trying to pronounce the names of these cards, but lately though I've been watching. But with me watching the 5Ds anime and in addition, reading about Norse mythology, I tend to know the names pretty well. And then you got 2 copies of Garm of the Nordic Beast, 2 copies of Gold Foxy of the Nordic Beast, 2 copies of Verg of the Nordic Alfar, 2 copies of Leosath of the Nordic Alfar, 1 copy of Svartalf of the Nordic Alfar, 1 copy of Mara of the Nordic Alfar, 1 copy of Mimir of the Nordic Ascendant, 1 copy of Valkyrie of the Nordic Ascendant, 1 copy of Vanadis of the Nordic Ascendant, the Swiss Army knife tuner monster. You can't go wrong with her. Tyr of the Nordic Champions. So that pretty much covers the monsters. And then moving into the spell cards, we have the Nordic Lights, 2 copies of Nordic Relic Draupnir, 1 copy of March Towards Ragnarok, and 1 copy each of Forbidden Chalice, Forbidden Lance, and Forbidden Dress. Forbidden all the way around. 1 copy of Monster Reborn, 1 copy of Soul Charge, 1 copy of Hey Trunade, and 1 copy of Mystical Space Typhoon. So that takes care of the spells. And then going into our traps, you get 2 copies of Gleipnir, the Fetters of Fenrir. You get 2 copies of Nordic Relic Brisingamen. You get 2 copies of Nordic Relic Levatein, 2 copies of Nordic Relic Gungnir, and you get 1 copy of Nordic Relic Mejingjord, and 1 copy of Solemn Authority. And so that does it for that. And then going into the extra deck, you get 1 copy each, obviously, of each of the Aesir monsters. So you got Thor, Lord of the Aesir, Loki, Lord of the Aesir, and Odin, Father of the Aesir. And then you also get a copy of Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Tree, 1 copy of Beelzus of the Diabolic Dragons. Very nice. So a lot of level 10 synchros here. So even when you're running this deck and you're using cards like this, you don't have to limit yourself to the Aesir monster. So at least they give you different kinds of options. And then when you got BLs of the Diabolic Dragons and Scrap Dragon. So yeah, I mean, it's a really awesome deck though. I mean, I have a Nordic deck built, so it's nice though that Golveg has come out, and I'm excited to get Alvis and Soul Fusion next week. So that's definitely going to be a deck I'm going to enjoy running. And then last but not least, we move on to our third and final deck, which is the Phantom Knights deck. So in our deck here, we get sorry guys. So for our new Link monster, it is the Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardish, and it is a Link monster with a Link rating of 3, and its Link arrows point to the right and also point to the lower left and lower right hand positions, has 2100 attack points, and its Link materials is 2+ dark monsters. And so its effect is that during your main phase, you can send one the Phantom Knights monster from your deck to the graveyard, and then set a Phantom Knight spell or trap card directly from your deck to your spell and trap card zone. And if a Dark Xyz monster or monsters is special summoned to the zone that this card points to while this monster is on the field, except during the damage step, you can target one card on the field and destroy it, and you can only use each effect of the Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardish once per turn, and this card cannot be used as link material. That's actually very nice. I've never really played with Phantom Knights, but the deck is pretty crazy though, and I think that Rusty Bardish is a really good link monster. And then for the rest of the ultra rares, got Twin Twisters. Nice. It would have been nice if they could have included this in all three decks. Then we have the Phantom Knights of Mistclaws and the Phantom Knights of Breaksword, and number 86 heroic champion Rongo Menayad. So yeah, this card is really good because it's got a plethora of effects, and since there's a lot of level 4 monsters in this deck, this actually can make this card stack up on a lot of good effects. So I think it's a good Xyz monster to run. And so for the rest of the cards in the deck for the monsters, you get 2 copies of the Phantom Knights of Ancient Cloak, 2 copies of the Phantom Knights of Silent Boots, 2 copies of the Phantom Knights of Ragged Gloves, 2 copies of the Phantom Knights of Cloven Helm, 2 copies of the Phantom Knights of Fragile Armor. So that's awesome. And then you get 1 copy of Armageddon Knight, 1 copy of Blue Mountain Butter Spy, 1 copy of Rescue Ferret, 1 copy of Junk Forward, popular card, 1 copy of Kagemucha Knight, 1 copy of Cockadoodle-Doo, Cockadoodle-Doo, 1 copy of Effect Veiler, and that'll do it for the monsters. And Effect Veiler, always good. This card has probably been reprinted to death so many times, but sometimes you can never have too many reprints. But if you want to talk about reprints, though, Mystical Space Typhoon, I can't even begin to tell you how many reprints that card has. So for spell cards, you have the Phantom Knights Rank Up Magic Launch, 2 of them. The Phantom Knight Spear, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, Foolish Burial, Reinforcement of the Army, and Dark Eruption. So really not too many spell cards in the Phantom Knights deck, and the main reason being is because this deck often uses a lot of trap cards for support than they do spells. So this is probably one. So this one has a huge bunch of traps. So you got Phantom Knights Fog Blade, which is probably considered to be the best Phantom Knights trap card. You only get 1 of that. Phantom Knights Sword, you get 2 of them. Sorry. 2 copy of Phantom Knights Wing, 2 copies of the Phantom Knights of Shadow Veil, 1 copy of the Phantom Knights of Shade Brigandine, 1 copy of the Phantom Knights of Dark Gauntlets, 1 copy of the Phantom Knights of Tomb Shield, 1 copy of the Phantom Knights of Lost Vambrace, and 2 copies of the Phantom Knights of Wrong Magnituring. So that'll do it for the main deck. And then moving on to the extra deck, we have the Phantom Knights of Cursed Javelin, Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon, Evil Sworn Nightmare, Evil Sworn Thanatos, Levier the Sea Dragon, and rounding it out, Dante Traveler of the Burning Abyss. So yeah, I would say that probably of the 3 decks, most people will say that this one is probably the one that people would be the most excited about, or the one that they would play the most. So yeah, so these here are the legendary hero decks. And so like any legendary decks before, though, they go at $29.99 a piece though, so you can pick these up at your local OTS stores because they are selling them today, and they will be available widespread tomorrow. So once again, I hope that you guys enjoyed this unboxing video, and as always, like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time, I'll see you guys around.